Good morning, and rest assured you are in the right conference, because as of today, Omega Energia will be Serena, and I'll tell you more about it in this presentation. As we always do, the idea is to talk about the results of this third quarter, which was very good. We'll also talk about the company growth plan for 2020 until 2027. We talk about the new brand and why doing this now. And we'll have a Q&A session with questions, recurring questions first, sent to our IR team, and then the Q&A. Our third quarter was very good, and there are three reasons for that. First is because we had a very good progress in Assuruá 5, reaching full completion of operation in October, and this causes it, plus Assuruá 4, to be fully operational, de-risked assets. And the other key element is that Goodnight 1 continues to evolve well to be fully operational before Christmas. The second element that causes this quarter to be good is we have a record operating results, the largest production, EBITDA, which led to a net income of 100 million reais. And finally, as this analysis of evolution and consolidation of this investment program becomes real, we are able to identify the important value creation that 2023 will give us, which associated to a de-risking process, because assets are operational and we are increasing the length of trade receivables and become more and more having contracts. We'll have a risk-return ratio that's the best of the industry. So it continues with Assuruá 4 with the availability above 98%, with a project that had time, cost, and return very interesting. So on time, they were below projects, and return above expectations, because we're able to have better funding and better sales structures than initially planned. Assuruá 5, we had economy of savings of capex and a return above expectation for the same reasons that I mentioned for Assuruá 4. As for Goodnight 1, today we have 59 turbines assembled out of 59, so there is no more construction or assembly work to be done. But differently from Brazil, the ramp-up happens according to a window distribution of the distribution company. So in this period, assembled and pre-commissioned turbines will start to be connected to the grid, and I believe that before Christmas, I expect it to be fully operational. In terms of return, Goodnight 1 is in line with our plan. There are some upsides, especially regarding new sales structures. For example, installing plants or consumption units from our customers close to the project. This could be an important factor to add profitability to these projects. We're working hard to increment the return of Goodnight 1. In terms of distributed generation, we had an important landmark in this quarter, which is the beginning of operation of our first distributed generation solar project in the interior of São Paulo. It's still too early to draw conclusions about the success of this execution, but it's advancing well, and we expect to have three plants commissioned, new plants commissioned by month as of November. So our goal is to reach close to 200 megawatts of distributed generation until the end of 2024. with these new units that we plan to create. Highlighting two of our main indicators that have marked this quarter. EBITDA has grown 52% when compared to year-on-year, and profit reached 102 million reais. The delta was in line, Chuí above, and Assuruá below, due to some rainfall above expected for that region. Assuruá was lower, but delta in line, and due to El Niño for the first half of next year will also help. Including assets, the increase in production were 31%, and we believe that this will continue because Assuruá 4 and 5 are fully operational in the third quarter, and Goodnight 1 will also join them. Our gross profit was 32% above when compared to the same period of last year, and resulting from assets, use of margins, and the good results of the platform. We had good profit in the platform in the quarter, which helped us to reach this level of gross profit. We were able to have some indemnifications and insurance paid by suppliers due to non-reaching of performance of last year, so we were paid for that. Plus savings in expenses, we had an EBITDA that's more than 30% higher than the same period of last year. So that's an important increase. When looking at the last 12 months, we are already running our EBITDA at the level of 1.45 billion reais. That's very close to our guidance for 1.5 billion for 2023. And this last quarter of this year will be better than what we had last year, because we'll have greater installed capacity, Assuruá 4, 5, and Goodnight 1, and a wind season that's still present in the last 6 months of the year. So we are optimistic in terms of meeting the guidance of 1.5 million, and maybe even increasing that a bit. Therefore, that gives us a very positive sign that we are on the right track, on a right path to deliver the guidance for 2023, and with all assets fully operational, to reach a 2 billion EBITDA. That's the guidance for 2024. It's worth highlighting here the fact that our investment program, that's now being completed, has been so successful. We have planned it very carefully. We've had funding, Actis, with its primary investment in the beginning of last year, to plan our cash flow consistently, to be able to implement all the new assets. And now, as the new plants become operational, we confirm the success not only of execution, but as well as financial planning and profitability of these investments that will help us a lot in 2024. On the funding area, the deleverage, because of the new projects, is now happening. There are some signs of that, which are the actual reduction in the net debt to EBITDA of Ômega Geração, that was below 4 in the quarter. And as we become operational, all these ratios converge towards an operational company instead of a company that's implementing and developing new capacity. In addition, another important factor is that as the projects become operational, we are able to level our amortization curve. So Our model is to build, take loan bridges or bridge loans, and as we finish the construction, we have long-term funding, and the short-term liabilities decrease. We have that in the next 2 or 3 months, and Andrea later will be here with us to explain in detail the step-by-step process for these in coming months. To explain here, I think there is a combination of action and reduction of risks. Assuruá 4 and 5 are projects that had an amazing return despite the less favorable environment with high interest rates. We're able to attain a profitability that was much higher than our target, which ensured the generation of value from this project. Given a better capital structure, we had a good execution and commercial or sales models that increase the margins of projects because of self-production, leasing of assets, as we have announced an operation with Cargill recently. And as we increase the margins and return, we're also able to increase our contract coverage in the next years in 10 points. We are highly contracted for 10 years, 96% covered by contracts, all adjusted to inflation, so we're able to increase the profitability per year and reduce the risk of the company and increase its profitability in the next